Welcome to Under Two Capes News. I am Jared. We're in my game room today because I was just playing the Legendary Edition of Mass Effect, which I'm going to talk about in today's episode. This is going to be kind of like a double episode because I didn't do the review for Army of the Dead. I'm just going to do it now. And then I'm going to talk about a little short review for Mass Effect, the Legendary Edition, because I've been playing a lot of that the past few days. So let's get started. So Army of the Dead. So I walked into this, obviously, after having watched Zack Snyder's Justice League, and I was very interested to see what this movie was about. So, watching this movie was kind of an interesting experience. My first real zombie movie was the Resident Evil movies. So, I'm sitting there watching, and I love how he starts off. There's a montage that shows like the whole apocalypse happening. He's putting on Viva Las Vegas. So I'm like, oh, that's a nice touch. But it's a very Zack Snyder move. There's lots of slow motion, lots of bombastic action, kind of like any of his DC movies that I very much enjoyed that in that case. And let's see, I enjoyed all the gun action because as a guy that likes action movies, I found those particularly interesting. Let's see, let's see what else I like. Comedy was good. It wasn't too funny. It wasn't too serious. Because after having seen the travesty that was Justice League, I wanted to make sure that I wanted to ensure that I'm a little hesitant when it comes to movies that are funny, if that makes sense, because I've been burned on that before. And so let's see what else. So I'm not going to go over the story because if you want to watch it, you can just go ahead and watch it. But I will say the story was well written, very open ended for sequels and prequels and such, which I love. And I love how Netflix has kind of a big F you to Warner Brothers, just basically said, yeah, we'll give you like sequels and prequels and animated series, whatever you want. We just want Zack Snyder. So I'm like, Warner Brothers, you should be doing this. I just want to sit at the camera a little bit. This is what Warner Brothers should be doing. All right. Anyway, let's see. Cast was great. I liked how in this movie, he made some of the zombies somewhat intelligent. Like they have like a whole caste system. You have the alpha zombie, and you only get turned into a zombie if you're bitten by the alpha. So I really like how they sort of added that element, because traditionally when you're seeing a zombie thing, traditionally in the zombie genre, it's like if you're bitten, that's it. And once you're bitten, you turn into a feral monster. But changing it up a little bit made it fresh. And he kind of hinted that there's kind of maybe aliens involved, because if you notice in the beginning of the movie, when they show the military transport or bring in the alpha zombie somewhere, you see like two lights in the sky like fly off like they're UFOs. So it's pretty cool. All right, so I think that's enough to talk about for the movie. Now I'm going to talk about Mass Effect, the Legendary Edition. Now, here's the funny part. I did not know this was coming out until like, I think like a month ago. Yeah, I really had no idea they were remaking this at all. And what? So you can imagine my surprise when I log on to Xbox and I'm like, okay, so what's new? Mass Effect Legendary Edition. What's this? Oh, remastered everything. Yes, please purchase. So I bought it. It took forever to install because I have like moderately strong internet, but when it comes to like downloading stuff, it goes the speed of a turtle that has lost all four of its legs and its tail and its shell. It basically, it's just a little turtle head just rolling. So anyway, let's see what else. Okay, so I loaded up once it actually got loading. And I think I started with Mass Effect 3. Yeah, I started with Mass Effect 3. And immediately when I get to the DLC part, to the part where you can actually move around and stuff, like once you're past all the training missions, I'm looking at this and I'm like, where's all this content come from? And then I look in the description and it says, oh yeah, every DLC is included. So I have like everything, all the bonus missions, all the bonus weapons, even the pre-order stuff, and the stuff that was only available in the collector's edition of the game. So I'm like, thank you very much, BioWare. This is fantastic. Now let's talk about. So my first experience with Mass Effect started 20 whenever Mass Effect 3 came out, because 3 had just come out, and I wanted to try that out. So I tried that. I remember it was spring break. I think it was 2013, 2012 or 2013. Whenever Mass Effect 3 came out, like it was right out. So I'm playing it, and here's the funny part. So I play it, and then I played it like I played through the game like 5 times that spring break. Like it was like over and over and over again, because it's one of those games where it's easy to get sucked into, and it's one of those games where it's rewarding as you come back. Because what I like about it is that, like, after you beat the game, you can come back and play it, and you can always import your character to a subsequent playthrough. So you still have all your levels, all your gear. So you can have like a super heavily armed Shepard playing through Eden Prime on the first game. And let's see, what else I like. I liked how I liked, first off, how it's all 3 games. I like all the DLC, because I a lot of these I've never played before. Like I played Lair of the Shadow Broker last night, which was super dope. I played the Leviathan. I think I played the story expansions for 3. Yeah, I played the ones for 3, but some of them for 2, but not a lot. I like all the like cosmetic choices. Like I like having access to all those different costumes and such, because a lot of the stuff I was like, oh, this is way better than the original design. I also like, so for Mass Effect 1, the heads-up display has been significantly improved. It's not just like, okay, so here are the 3 names of your crewmates and Shepard, and it's not like you have like, I guess, tick marks to represent your shields. It's just a bar in the bottom of the screen that I'm like, why was the tick mark ever a thing? That makes no sense. So I like that. And let's see what else. And by the way, I will be talking a lot about this game in subsequent episodes, probably on Saturdays. And let's see. What else do I like? I like how the sound has been improved. The graphics, actually, for 1, have been significantly improved, to the point where the atmosphere of the game is a little different. Like in Mass Effect 1, when you first show up on Eden Prime, in the original Mass Effect 1, it was like, when you're going through it, it looks like some kind of like fogged out area. But in the Legendary Edition, it's like a sunny day. It's clearer. You can see things better, which I like, because it's more foreboding for like the coming battles that way. And let's see, it brought back a lot of memories. You have many fond memories playing through Mass Effects 1, 2, and 3. 2 and 3 specifically, because those 2 were like my favorites. I like the ending, by the way. Mass Effect 3 has just installed in there the extended cut, so the Shepard cut of the ending. And it's kind of funny is that all of the devs said, okay, so it's gonna be like 100% in there, because that's the ending we always thought it should be. So there you go. It wasn't just jarring. Yeah, because the way it was originally before they released the extended thing was like so abrupt. I mean, depending on your ending, I mostly do the destroy ending. So I blow up the Reapers, and then it's like there's Normandy going through space, crashes. There's Joker walking out. He's with Edie, or like Ashley, or whoever's on the Normandy. It wouldn't be Edie because all the synthetics got wiped out. But it's just the sunlight, and then just cuts to black, and then it's just the boy and the grandfather telling stories. That's it. But with this one, they actually showed, here are the impacts of your choices. Like you have now in Mass Effect 3, I, for the first time ever, managed to negotiate peace between the Geth and the Quarians, so I get both armies instead of having to choose one. Because what I did is, first time I always side with the Quarians pretty much. My very first playthrough of Mass Effect 3, I sided with the Geth and lost tally. So I was like, nah, I'm not doing that. So anyway, Did that. Then I managed to accrue enough influence points so that I could, on my next playthrough, because I'm on playthrough number 2 of Mass Effect 3 Legendary. On my next playthrough, I was able to do the to save both because I had enough points. And I'm working on a lot of these decisions in the other 3 games. And let's see what else. What else can I talk about? Also, the combat has been changed up. I liked how now I can use any gun even if I don't have the skill for it, because I noticed that I've seen stuff on the internet, and from what I've personally experienced, that when you're using, like, say, a sniper rifle and you're trying to snipe people, and it's like if you don't have the skill for it, it's like swaying all over the place like this as you're trying to aim. So I'm like, yeah, this is way better, way better. They basically took these games and made them easier to play, and plus now it's easier to just go from 1 to 2 to 3. And what I mean by that is that it's easier to also import your character from 1 to 2 to 3 because it's a uniform character creator. Now, what do I mean by that? So originally, when you imported from 1 to 2, some of the textures and some of the customization options weren't available in 2 that were in 1. So your character would look kind of different when you imported them. Where now, when you do that, it's one character creator for the entire series, for the entire game, if you will. I mean, the Legendary Edition. So when you make it, it's one character. It's and one character creator. So it's not like he's going to have blonde hair here, but brown hair here. It's all there. So very much like that. Very much. Let's see. What else can I talk about with this? Also, you can now, which I love, you can now bulk delete things, like delete things to like mark things as junk, which you couldn't do. And this makes Mass Effect 1 inventory management significantly easier. Because it is really easy to like use up your inventory to the point where it's like you're constantly selling things. So if you get to sell into Omnigel, which you can use to upgrade stuff or whatever, makes it significantly easier. It's just really, 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 really like really easier to play this game. 1 is a lot less jarring to use. Still has its issues because remember, this isn't a remaster. This isn't a remake. It's a remaster. They just enhanced the graphics for the Series X. By the way, speaking of Series X, here's the best part. In Mass Effect 1, you can skip the elevators, and the load times are like almost instantaneous. Like I will select a mission, and then normally it shows me the little animation of the ship and stuff for like, say, about 10 to 20 seconds. Now it says 1 second, done. So I was like, oh, this is so much better. I love this thing. So let's see what else do I want to talk about. I love all the DLC. I can't believe all this stuff is not in there. But as you're playing it, what I would recommend, as this was recommended to me on the Mass Effect podcast I listened to, play through the Leviathan DLC of Mass Effect 3 before you complete the game, because, well, obviously because that adds significantly more context to the story as you go, when you go to the last mission, so it's easier to like make a decision. So with that, I will call it a night. That was Under Two Capes' review of Mass Effect Remastered. I'm going to do another one of these because I want to devote more time to it. I may even do a YouTube show on this, but anyway, so a couple of things. Number one, so we're approaching next week, and next Friday, the 11th, marks the 1-year anniversary of the podcast. I'm going by when the first episode was put up. And what I want to do is start marketing. So to help this podcast grow, what you guys can do to help us out is go on wherever you get your podcast, like it, and write a little review on it. And particularly if you have an Apple account, just 5-star review it and write us a nice little review on the podcast, because that increases our visibility in the charts, and we can and more people can find the podcast. So do that, and that's Under Two Capes. I'll also share the YouTube channel. I'm gonna start putting the link to the YouTube channel in the audio episodes too. So for Under Two Capes, if you guys want to see the or just the podcast listeners, and you guys want to watch the YouTube shows, you can just click on that link. It'll take you right to the page. And so once again, like, comment, subscribe for other great shows like this, and put in the comments what other content you guys want us to cover, whether that be Halo, Mass Effect, or whatever you guys want us to do. All right. Have a good night. Stay heroic, everyone.